following case illustrates what the guardian of the threshold means, or the dweller. Mrs. X, an elderly lady, is such a gossip that she is without a friend on earth. No one dares to speak in her presence. She has been married twice, but both homes have been broken up. She blames others. But all who know her realize that she is the one responsible. She has an ungodly temper, a sour disposition, and a body filled with acidity due to improper food combinations. She spends most of her time regretting unfortunate conditions of years ago, feeling that the world is against her. She will not believe that she is selfish, and she spends all her time telling what she knows. She expects everyone to agree with her and calls them fools when they do not. One minute she wants to embrace, and the next she wants to kill those near her. She prays and meditates daily and asks for spiritual enlightenment. She sees visions and believes that the creations of her mind are true, which is quite impossible. She is just one of countless thousands who expect illumination as their birthright and spirituality as a legacy. They do not realize that the masters must have people who can do things. This lady could not earn $5 a week in the material world, for she is a liability wherever she is. But she believes that she is valuable enough to God for Him to send one of His masters to teach her against her own will the things she would not understand. Those who want illumination are many, but few are worth the effort nature must make in order to change their lives and produce something useful. An analysis of this lady shows that she has the following faults. She is an incurable egotist. She is a pessimist. She has a violent temper. This temper poisons her blood. She is selfish. The masters are the opposite, altruistic. She is emotional. She wastes energy, which is a crime. She has a neglected body. God will not dwell in a temple that is not kept clean and free of disease. These 6 faults comprise the dweller on her threshold. They stand between her and all the beautiful things she wants to be. God will not remove these things from her, but will give her the things she longs for when she proves her worth by mastering her own nature and awakening to her mistakes. God makes a pact with man. If man will prepare the temple of his own life, the Father will take up his dwelling in it and be the light of that temple. Let us ask nothing of God until we have done our part. Let us not try to gain spirituality until we have built our tabernacle according to the law given to the children in the days when the earth was young. I never heard that written so clearly in a way that really captures the essence of a scripture that I'm sure a lot of people twist the meaning of when Jesus says, "Many are called, but few are chosen." What Manly Hall is saying here is that there is a tremendous amount of preparation, a tremendous amount of effort that an individual must make in order that the gates open and the spiritual transformation, the illumination, the realization of truth is granted. And you can hear from his tone that there's no apology for that. There's no pity for that. There's really no empathy in the sense that this is how it is. And he's highlighting an example of somebody who believes they're spiritually advanced, who prays and meditates, which is good, who has visions, which he's saying are creations in this woman's own mind, and probably sees herself as advanced. And he's highlighting all the ways in which it's not happening for her. And those attitudes and that way of life is compromising this blockage, the dweller on the threshold. To be able to examine every aspect of your life and to take guidance from somebody who you believe is a real teacher, who says, this is what you need to do. And then they back away and give you the space to do it. I see very few people who want to do that. And people might think that, well, God is all good and God is all love, and so I should be entitled to transformation and all the help I can. And, you know, if I meet a teacher, you know, they should give me their knowledge and they should follow the program that I want. Which I see that in people who come through our church, is that they are subtly running their own program. I mean, to me, it's not subtle. Excuse me. And if I ask for contributions, a lot of times it feels like we're squeaking a drop out of their ocean of finances. Which is fine, I don't complain about it. But it's very telling to me. The value that people place on true spiritual guidance. Somebody who's willing to sit with you and listen to the nuances of everything you say, think, do, act, believe, and help you correct them. I mean, I recognized it when I found it 17 years ago. And was sort of looking around going, like, why is this place not overwrought with people? Well, I know now. People are very, very touchy, and people don't want to be told that these things are off or they need to correct this. Because it hurts, it stings, it goes against the image that they are holding, and the dweller in the threshold, that part of them which has been developed to make sure they feel okay, does not want to face the reality that they are not okay. And when I say they are not okay, I mean that their behaviors, their conduct, their way of thinking, the way they treat their body, the way that they process emotions, is not at the level that it can be. And I really like what he says when he goes, God will send the masters to those who can do things. What does that mean, who can do things? Well, who have enough relationship with their emotions that they do not get thrown into the abyss of their own anger, depression, anxieties, just because of adversity. You must become a master of dealing with adversity if you are going to do something. Because the world is very much in an adverse state of consciousness. That's my observation. So if you don't know how to or can't handle it, or forever feel like you're being victimized, or forever feel like you're slogging through the mud because people won't cooperate, and as a result you retreat and you give up, then he's saying, well, why should God send a master to teach you, to help you, to guide you? I mean, that makes sense to me. It's like you're not going to work with an Olympic coach just because you're excited about having a great coach. You've got to earn that relationship. And I think this is irritating to people. Maybe they go, that's not fair, that's not right. I like how he writes. He's like, this is how it is. So either you complain and go, but you don't get what you maybe think you are already, or you go, how bad do I want it? How bad do I want to have the light upon every aspect of myself? And even that does not guarantee any transformation. The transformation occurs because you, the individual who has the light upon them, goes, this is not acceptable as it is. These parts are good. These parts, not sure. These parts definitely have to be cleaned up. And that makes life very interesting, I think. Because otherwise, it's all about entertainment. You know, it's like, what can I do today to entertain myself? But I go, what can I do today to improve myself to improve the place where I live, to improve my way of thinking, so that I can do something. That's inspiring to me. Even though the world, it's a song from when I was in high school, this band called The Cult, and they had a line, the world drags me down. And the way that he sang it, it was a good line. The world will drag you down, and you have to continually pull yourself up. You do so in meditation. You do so when you retreat from the world. You decide, okay, I got to shower off of the energy of the world and go back out there and try to clean it up. Well, there's a lot of things about spiritual growth that I don't think people are going to like. This in particular, this teaching, I don't know if I'm going to publish this sermon or not, but I did want to record it. The thought that you may not be worthy, one may not be worthy of the kind of teaching necessary to usher you through the gates of illumination and realization. Because you're not doing anything. Except, a little bit of self-help, a little bit of tending to your own wounds. At the beginning, that's important. But there's a point where, come on, it's easy enough to attend to your wounds before you go to bed in meditation, if there are wounds. We're trying to get rid of the wounds. So there's a point where it's all about what are you doing to make this world better. And that's a lot of pressure. But the beautiful gem is that as a result of living that way, your life flourishes. That's a karmic truth, an immutable law. That when your life is about, well, how can I make the lives of others better? How can I make my own life better? I'm not saying it's all a sacrifice for others. To make the place that you live in better. Make the car that you drive better. Or if it's too late, get a new one. When you work for people, make their lives better. Be conscious, be considerate of their circumstances, their conditions. Put the time in before you teach a class, before you visit somebody, before you start a sermon, before you, go, this has to be as vital as I can make it. I believe the masters go, wow, that person's freaking committed. So we've got to help them. And that's exciting. I certainly feel that if I meet somebody who I see that they're willing to do anything. And they're sort of perpetually hungry, well, what's next? Because they want to get through these gates. And I understand that in the beginning it has a lot to do with I want to be free. But there's a point where it has to be, I want to become the greatest gift to humanity that I can be. Because I believe I've come to a place where my past has been, sort of flushed down the toilet, the parts that I don't need to think about anymore. And I go, what is the purpose of life? And people can spend a long time just going, it's really unknowable because it's so mysterious. And it's like, yeah, there's an element to that I find interesting as well. But there's another element where you look around and go, human beings love each other. I mean, it's a little bit optimistic. But the ones who are in your circle, you look forward to connecting with them. You look forward to hearing about their situations. You want to share your situation. You want to go to restaurants together. You want to have experiences together. You want people to be available for you. You want to be available for people so that we just enjoy this amazing place. The thought that people want to go live on Mars or something is just, have you seen the pictures of Mars? There's nothing growing there. So I don't know, it's such a weird idea. Like we have this incredible planet that's so lush with growth and the temperature is, it's varied, but it's tolerable. But we got to get rid of this dump that we just took a huge crap on and go somewhere else. What do you think is going to happen if we figure out a way to live there? You think that planet is going to just be fine after 500 years of human beings that have not learned how to take care of anything? No. It's going to be trashed just like here, but at a different level. So we've got an amazing planet. Let's make it better. And recognize that The spiritual help that you get is going to be directly proportionate to your demonstration of willingness and action and follow-through to what is being asked of you. And that, I guarantee you, will be a lot harder than anything else in your life. You know, it's going to be harder than your job. It's going to be harder than relationships with your family. It's going to be harder than love relationships. I can't exactly explain why, except coming up against the dweller within you that, you know, doesn't want to do the things that you need to do is very challenging. But it's doable. So let's do it.